Hello everyone, welcome to this Python programming lecture series. In this video we will learn about function. So by the end of this video you will able to learn what a function is, how to define a function, how to use parameters, and how to return a value from a function. So what is a function? Function is just like a block of code that performs a specific task. It is nothing but a block of code that performs a specific task. Instead of writing the same code repeatedly, we can write it once inside a function and call it whenever we want. For example, imagine you have to calculate the area of a rectangle. So instead of writing it several times, we can write inside a function and call it whenever we want. So function makes program easy to read, easy to maintain, and easy to reuse. It is just simple. We can reuse it, we can easily read it, and we can easily maintain it. So let's see how to define a function. So defining function, a function is created using a def keyword. It is a keyword used for defining a function. So the syntax is def the name of the function, and here the parameters and the statement we have to print. It is just simple how to use with def function. So for example, def greet, and there is no parameter, so we are printing hello, welcome to Python. So it is a function. To execute the function we must call it. So for execution of the function we have to call function. So how to call? The name of the function and the parameters if we are writing it. So this is how we call function. So output will be hello, welcome to Python. Simple. Here this is a block of code started from here and completed here. It is just block of code that performs a specific task. So here we are defining function. Here is the name of the function and the parameter if needed. If not, then there will be parentheses. So here the block of code is completed and then we are calling it. Here we are calling it. Whenever we want to execute the function, we will call it. Now let's see what a parameter is. So parameter are values that pass to a function. Values that are passed to a function, they makes a function more flexible and because it can work with different data. We can work with different data. So here we are defining the function name and the parameter if we need it. So let's see an example of this. Here same defining function, the name of the function and the name, the parameter is name here. So we are printing hello and name. So name is the parameter. If we are here, we are calling with a name with a parameter. So the parameter is Rahul. So Rahul will go here to the parameter, here name. So name will be passed to the statement we have printing. So Rahul will go here. So hello Rahul will be the output of first call. Then we are calling it again with greet Priya. So we are greeting Priya with hello Priya. So after here Priya will go here and the name will change into Priya. So here Priya and Rahul are the parameter of this, and going to the parameter we are assigning here. So this is how the function works with parameters. Now we have functions with multiple parameters. We can use multiple parameters instead of one. So again defining, there is an example of another function. So we are adding it. We assign the name of add. So we are taking two parameters a and b. So what is a function? Function is print sum equals to a plus b. So if we are taking a and b are parameters, so if we call, the function will execute on the call. So add 10 and 20. So the output will be 30. Now we'll see a new thing, which is return statement or return value. So for return statement, something we want a function to send a return back to a program. For this purpose, Python provides a return statement. We have return statement for returning a value. If we have to print it, so we are using print function. If we want to return the value, instead of printing it, we are going back to the call. So we'll use return statement. So it is nothing but syntax is similar to that. We use return and the value we have to return. So how to use, let's see an example. So we are using a square square question. So define square and the number is the parameter of this function. So we are returning the number into number. What is that? That is a calculation of square of a number. So we are returning the result of the square. So result equal to square 5. We are calling here, we are calling with the help of this variable, which is result, and then printing the result. First we are returning the value, after that we are printing it. So here we are taking the parameter is 5. So 5 will go here with the number and it will return 5 into 5, which is 25. 25 to the call. The call will have this variable, the result, and the print will goes to the result, and the result is 25. Just simple. Instead of printing, we are returning the value first and then printing after that. So this is how the return statement works. So let's see key points of a function. So key functions are, function is defined using a def keyword. We have seen that we are using def keyword. So the function execute only when it is called. Function always works when we are calling the function. When we are calling the function, see here we are calling, then only the function will execute. So next, what next says, parameter receive value passed to the function. Parameter, we are passing the values of parameter. So this is the return statement, send a value back to the caller. A return statement does not print the value, it sends value to the caller. This is caller, this is calling the function. So this is how the function and return statement works. So next line says, function helps write reusable, organized and readable code. We have seen that it is reusable, it is organized, and we can read it easily. So let's see an advantages of a function. So here it reduce code duplications, like we can use it multiply. We do not have to write code multiply. We can use it whenever we want, we can call it. So it improve readability, make debug easy. If we want to debug a code, it makes code easier to debug. So save development time, it saves times, and encourage code reuse. We can reuse the code whenever we want. So here is a question about area of a rectangle. So we are defining a function with the name area, and the parameters are length and width. So we are returning in a block of code, we are returning a length into breadth. So after that we are printing it. So we are printing area equals to area, which is calling, we are calling with parameters arguments like 8 and 5. So let's see a output of this question. So area is 40. So how it works, when we are calling this with the help of this print statement just printing this output, but we are calling it. So call goes to the parameters, the definition of the function. So it takes the parameters as length as 8 and width as 5. So after the block of code, inside a block of code, length gets 8 into width, which is 5. So 8 into 5 is 40. So output is 40. The area of our rectangle is 40. This is how a return statement with function works. So let's see another question, which is a largest number of two numbers. So here we are defining a function and the name is largest and with parameters a and b. So block of code says if a is greater than b, then return a, which is larger number, else we are returning b. So here we are doing the decision making statement, which are if and else. So after that we are printing the large number and calling it with 15 and 20 argument. So argument goes to the parameter which is a and b. So if 15 is greater than b, which is not, it is false, so it will not return this and goes to else. So after that it will print b. So b is our 20. So b is our largest number. Let's see the output of this question. So the largest number is 20. This is how the code works. If we will change the output, like this is 10. If we are changing this output with 10 and 15 is a and b is 10, so a is greater than b, yes, a is greater than, then a will return. So let's see the output. So output is 15, which is our a part. So this if will work. Here is another question with what we have studied, that there are multiple parameters also. So here in this question we have 3 parameters. So let's see the question. We are defining function with average. We are finding average here. So average, and we are taking 3 parameters here, m1, m2 and m3. So the function is to return a average. So we are returning average with m1 plus m2 plus m3 divided by 3. So we are dividing it by 3 to get an average. So after that we are assigning an average variable and calling it with the help of this variable. So we are calling with the name of the function and the parameters we are given by the user. So the parameters are 80, 90 and 85. So the average of this all will be 80. So in the question, after that we are printing this with the variable, with the help of variable. So let's see the output of this question. So the output is 85. So 85 is the average of this question. So this is how the questions of function works with the help of return statement. We can call it whenever we want and with the help of a variable, or we can call it directly. So this is how the functions works. So today we have learned what a function is, how to define a function and how to use def keyword, how to pass parameters, how to use multiple parameters, and how to return value with the help of return statement, and what is the difference between print and return value. So functions are one of the most important topics in Python, and because this helps in writing code clear, reusable and organized program, so we use functions. So thank you so much for watching this video. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.